You know those people who knock on your door right before an election? Ever wonder what their day is actually like? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on that whole world. We're going to follow a political canvasser for a day to really understand the intense, surprisingly structured life of the political ground game.
All right, so here's how we're going to break it down. We'll start with their morning huddle, then we'll get into the gear they use, cover the art of knocking on doors, and follow them all the way to that final, frantic push on election day itself.
Okay, first things first, a canvasser's day doesn't actually start on your doorstep. Nope, it kicks off way earlier inside the campaign office. And it's all built on two things, a rock-solid plan and, maybe even more importantly, the right attitude.
And just look at this schedule. It is packed. This is not some casual show up when you feel like it kind of thing. It's a full-blown operation, planned out pretty much to the minute, from that first 9 a.m. briefing right up until they're actually out in the field.
But before a single door gets knocked, it all starts with this. And this quote really gets to the heart of it. It's not just some cheesy motivational poster, you know? It's a genuine survival tactic. Think about it. You're going to get a lot of doors slammed in your face, a lot of no's. So that relentless positivity, it's absolutely essential.
All right, so you've got the mindset down. What's next? The gear. Let's talk about the canvasser's toolkit because they are armed with some very specific tools before they ever think about heading out.
Yeah, this is way more than just a walk around the neighborhood. You've got to pack smart. We're talking about the obvious stuff like a clipboard and pens, but also the modern essentials like a portable charger. Because let's be real, their phone is basically their entire office when they're out in the field. And speaking of that phone, the single most important tool on it is this app called Minivan. It's pretty much the brain of the whole operation. It's where they get their turf, which is just campaign speak for the specific neighborhood or list of houses that they're assigned to cover. And this is where you really see how much canvassing has changed. It's actually pretty high tech. With just a couple of taps, their phone downloads the entire route, map and all. And every time they talk to someone, that data gets synced right back to the campaign's main database, instantly. Okay, the prep is done, the gear is packed, the app is loaded. Now comes the real deal. It's time to actually hit the pavement and start knocking on doors. This is the heart of the whole thing, making those one-on-one connections. So here's a little secret from the pros. Everything, and I mean everything, can depend on your very first sentence. If you ask a simple yes or no question like, can I talk to you about the election? You're basically inviting them to say no. But if you start with something open-ended, like, how are things in the neighborhood? Well, that changes the game completely. The whole idea is to be a person first, a canvasser second. Be a neighbor, not a telemarketer at the door. The training is all about listening more than you talk, keeping it short and sweet, like 1 to 3 minutes, and then moving on. It's this wild balancing act between being genuine and being efficient enough to hit about 30 doors an hour. So, having a great conversation is a huge win, but what's even better for the campaign? Capturing that support on camera. That can be a total game changer. They're basically trained to be a kind of field reporter. They take two main types of pictures. First, you have your support photos. You know, someone giving a thumbs up or holding a sign. That's all about showing momentum. But then there are community concern photos. This is where they'll snap a picture of a pothole or some illegal dumping. It shows the campaign is listening to what's really going on in the neighborhood. Okay, but let's be real for a second. How do you actually ask for a photo? You've just met this person. It could be super weird, right? Hey, nice to meet you. Can I take your picture? How do you pull that off without it being totally awkward? And here's the magic phrase. The key is to make it super low pressure, using words like, would you be cool with? And especially, totally optional, that's huge. It gives the power back to the resident. It's not a demand, it's an invitation, and that makes all the difference. So it's not all about just being friendly and strategic. There are some hard and fast rules of engagement here. We're talking about serious stuff, from their legal status all the way to what they're allowed to wear. Now, this is something most people have no idea about. Canvassers are almost never actual employees. They're legally classified as independent contractors. And that is a massive, massive difference. It means they're on the hook for their own taxes, and they don't get benefits like health insurance or anything like that. And speaking of professionalism, campaigns are really strict about how their canvassers look. There's a dress code. And it makes sense, right? That first impression on the doorstep is everything. You've got to look approachable, you've got to look trustworthy. And the rules are super clear.
Think business casual. A polo shirt, nice jeans, you're good to go. But show up in torn jeans, a hoodie, or flip-flops? That's a big no-no. They can actually send you home for the day and you won't get paid. Okay, so all of this, every single morning meeting, every door knock, all that data they enter, it's all building to one single moment. The final boss level, election day. This is the get out the vote or GOV push, and it is the most intense make or break day of the entire campaign. And the schedule on that day is just relentless. It's a dawn to dusk sprint. It starts at 6 a.m., getting people out to the polling places, and it does not let up. They're constantly checking their lists, targeting people who haven't voted yet, and hitting those doors again and again, right up until the polls close. Every person, every resource is all in.
So, after all that work, what does it actually accomplish? Does it even work? Well, the data is pretty clear. Field experiments have boiled it down to a simple, powerful number. For every 12 successful face-to-face conversations a canvasser has, it generates one extra vote. 12 conversations equals one vote. Think about that. One canvasser in one shift could have enough conversations to be the deciding factor in a really tight local race. So if just one person can do that, what does it mean when thousands of them are out there? It means the ground game isn't just about making noise. It's a finely tuned human-powered machine built to win. And it really makes you think, doesn't it?